as we all know that Ram became Sri Ram, followed by Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram. And it took a lot of time. He sacrificed so many things. So as a master communicator, in Valmiki Ramayana, it has been said that he was Shrutbhashi, means the person who speaks truth at all times. So he was like that, and I believe everyone will agree with this. And then Valmiki in his Ramayana mentioned that he was Hitbhashi also. Hitbhashi, Shrutbhashi are Hindi words, and the meaning of Hitbhashi is the person who speaks pleasant things to hear. I believe those who are listening to the songs, you listen to songs which are pleasant to your ears. You love to hear those songs. The person who speaks well, you love to hear that person. So he has that, the Ram, the Lord, has been described in these ways by Valmiki in the Ramayana. Then it was also mentioned that he was Mitbhashi. Mitbhashi means a person who speaks very limited as per the need, the conciseness, which Cutlip has mentioned in his 7 C's, the conciseness. And Purvabhashi, the person who initiates the conversation. I believe you must know the importance of small talk. Whenever you go somewhere, you meet people, and if you don't know the how to handle the small talk, then you will not conversate with anyone. But you know how to start the small talk, how to establish that small talk, then definitely you can make your own relations and many relations. So in Valmiki Ramayana, Valmiki showcased Ram as Shrutbhashi, Hitbhashi, Mitbhashi, and Purvabhashi. These were few characteristics of as a master communicator he has displayed. Now, when after Ravan, when he kidnapped Sitama, then Ram and Lakshman, they all were roaming in the forest. They were trying to search his wife. Then in one of the forests, he met with Hanuman. That was the first meeting. Although before this, Shabri told him to meet Sugriv, the king of monkeys, because she mentioned that he will help you in getting Sita in a very easy manner. So this was the first time when they were roaming in the forest. Sugriv saw these two people in the forest, and he was scared, because I believe you also know that Sugriv was exiled by his brother Bali. So he asked Hanuman as an ambassador to go and find out who are these two people, because he was scared. He thought Bali must have sent someone or these two people to kill me. Although Hanuman recognized in the very beginning, but he could not deny the orders of his master. So he said, okay, as an ambassador, he came to meet Ramachandraji. And Hanuman, he knew what and how to say. Because if you're meeting any person first time, you must know the audience, the person to whom you're talking. As I have already told you that we get positive response if we talk as per the need of other person. So Hanuman was one of the best communicators, and he knew what and how to say. So he says in Valmiki Ramayana, it has written in 4.3.5 sloka and 4.36 sloka. And I have written here, I will translate it for you all. And although I'm learning Sanskrit, so if I mispronounce anything wrong in Sanskrit, please forgive me. So Hanuman, when he met Ram and Lakshman, he said, Rajarshi Dev Pratimo, Tapaso Sasanshit Vrato, Desham Katmin Prapto, Bhavanto Varvarnino, Trasyanto Mragganyo Isha, one Charina. He, with the help of these shlokas, he tries to praise Bhagwan Ram and Lakshman, as well as he mentioned that what kind of qualities you have. He says, the meaning, the translation of this shloka is, you both are fair in your complexion, resemble like royal sages or gods. You appear like monks. The appearance, the posture, gesture, facial expressions, he understood and all these things. And then he said, you look like, means if I say, so you look like a royal sage or the god, but you are representing yourself like monks. How come you are present here? I don't know why you are here. See how beautifully he, in a very first meeting, he asked his purpose to come in this forest, because he said, you are God, you are a royal sage, but I don't know why you are here. And then he says, I feel that you are here to frighten the animals and other creatures roaming in this forest. So the appearance of Lord Rama, he mentioned, he tried to please the person to whom he is meeting first time. He asked their purpose to visit, and in his conversation he also mentioned that you are here, as if it appears that you are here to frighten the animals, the other creatures, those who are roaming here and there. It means you are courageous and powerful person. Then he appreciate once again, because again and again Ram and Lakshman didn't reply. Then he appreciated by saying, once again I'll read in Sanskrit, then I will translate it for you. I believe I'm able to reach you all. Can anyone please answer this? Like Sanskrit and translation, is it okay to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So again, Hanuman says, Singh Viprekshito Viro Mahabal Vikramo Shakra Chap Nibhay Chape Grihtva Shatru Sudano. Like he says, Singh Viprekshito, having the gaze of lion. Both of you are heroic in your attitude, like Mahabal Vikramo. And Shakra Chap Nibhay Chape Grihitva Shatu Sudano, he mentioned, now he is describing his attire also. So as we all, whenever we meet any person, we say, oh, good looking, what a dress, something like that. We always please with the help of these kind of phrases to other people. He also mentioned, as each of you hold a bow resembling the rainbow, and you seem to be mighty warriors, eager to destroy the enemies. Again, he is again and again trying to please him with the help of their appreciation. And apart from this, he is always showcasing that you are a strong warrior. Then he says, Shrimanto Roop Sampanno Vrishabh Shrestha Vikramo Hasti Hasto Pambujho Dhyumti Manto Narshabho Ayatsha Survatacha Bahava Parighopama Sarvabhushana Bhushana Kimarthana Vibhushita Ubhav Yogya Vaham Manne Rakshito Prithvi Mimam Sa Sagar Vana Kritasn Vindhimeru Vibhushita. In these 6 lines of these slokas, he is explaining his entire attire and he is visualizing that what you can do. So he mentioned that with the courage of superior bulls and your shoulders resembling the elephant's trunk. You look magnificent, handsome, and brilliant. And no doubt, you are best among the humans. That's why I said you are looking as a god, royal sages. And then he also mentioned that your long arms, see his observation skills, Hanuman's observation skills. He says, your long hasti hasto pambhujo, dyutimanto narbhasho. He mentioned your long arms and sphere-like shoulder appear as strong as iron clubs. Although, now again, he's praising him. He's saying, although ayacha suvacha baham parighopma sarva bhushana bhushana kimarthana vibhushita, means although they deserve to be decked with the ornaments because you look like royal people, so you should be ornamented with the gold, with the various ornaments, but I'm surprised how is it they are unadorned. See his observation skills. And if just imagine yourself, if somebody is praising you like this, he's describing your skills, he's describing your attitude, he's describing your attire. So obviously, how will you feel? I don't need to tell you. Then at the end, he says, Ubhav yogyavaham manye rakshito prithvi mimam sa sagar vana kritsan vindhimer vibhushitam. He mentioned, for me, you both deserve to rule the entire world, entire earth, embodied by seas and forests, and embellished with mountains like Vindhya and Meru. Like entire earth, you can rule. So he appreciated his skills. He appreciated. So why I'm mentioning all these things? Because the small talk which I talked about, the consideration of the audience, because we say in Cutlip has mentioned that one should always know his or her audience. So the observation skills of Hanuman has been showcased by Valmiki in his Ramayana. And after that, he didn't stop here. Why? Now he mentioned, he said, he's compelled to ask his purpose. So he says, Evam ma paribhashita kasmade nabhavi bhasata sugrivo nam dharmatma kashidvarna yuthpam. He said, why are you silent? Why are you quiet? I'm talking. And I'm talking about, I'm here to tell you about a great and virtuous warrior, Sugriv. Now he tells the name. Now see the stages which he is taking. First, he welcomed. Second, he appreciated and asked their purpose also to visit. Now he's also telling his purpose to meeting. So he says that Sugriv, like I'm talking about a great and virtuous warrior, Sugriv, the chief of the troop of monkeys. And he is Viro Vinikruto Bhatra Jagat Brahmati Dukhita Praptohma Prestin Istate Sugrivere Mahatmana. Then he mentioned that his brother Vali has he has been exiled by his brother, and now he's sadly roaming, wandering all over the land here and there. And at the end, now he is telling his name. In the beginning, he didn't tell. Now he's telling that Ragya Vanar Mukhyana Hanumanam Nam Vanara. He didn't. Now see, when he's introducing himself, he didn't disclose his qualities. He's simply saying that I'm a monkey called Hanuman. I'm sent here by a great king, Sugriva, the best of monkeys. So it also reminds me to let us know or let us understand that we should be loyal to our people, to whom we are or for whom we are working. He talked about himself as a very simple monkey, but he mentioned that the great king Sugriva. So he also mentioned the purpose. Now the consideration of the audience, like what should we say? And when we say that, when we understand my audience, then we talk according to, like if you meet any person who is not well and you have a good news to share, in that case you do not share that good news, you try to empathize with that person. So the consideration he mentioned that tamabhibhash saumitre sugriv sachivam kapimam vakyam madhurai varke sasnehi yukt marindaram. Now it is turn of Ram. So Ram has listened to this person, and when he asked, why are you quiet? I am so and so. When he talked about his purpose, then Ram considered Hanuman as, I'll tell you what he's saying. He's saying this cloak to his brother Lakshman. He said, O Saumitre. Saumitre, because he was son of Sumitra. So he says, O Saumitre, conqueror of enemies. This monkey, this Hanuman, Sugriv's minister, is skilled in friendly communication. With the help of those shlokas, he also considerates towards Hanuman, and he said, and he instructed Lakshman that reply to him in a words gentle and sweet, means consider him. Whatever he's saying, you should, whatever you are saying, you should be considerate enough towards your audience. This is what we understand. This is what we say. And it has been said in Ramayana by Ram. Then he also mentioned, before Lakshman speaks, he mentioned, he explains the importance of reading skills also. He mentioned that nan rigved vinitasya na yajurved dha na samved vidush shashakyam meva vibhushitam. He says that unless well versed in Rigved, Yajurved, and Samved, for sure it is not possible for anyone to articulate so well. So Ram discussed this thing to Lakshman, and he showcased the importance of reading skills also at that time by mentioning that he is well-read person. So consider that. Now again, see the observation of master communicator Ram. He observed that he is well-read. He is friendly communicator. He is a person who can convince anyone. So by knowing all these things, he says all these things to Lakshman to start the conversation with Hanuman, because Shabri has told that you should meet Sugriv. And he mentioned that I was looking for Sugriv. Now Sugriv has sent Hanuman, and he has established a good rapport between us. So talk accordingly. And why should we talk accordingly? He gave these remarks to Lakshman. Now again, he mentioned that in Valmiki Ramayana, he mentions that whatever you are saying, the completeness must be there. You must read well, you must know well before saying anything. So Ram says to Lakshman that Nunam Vyakarnam Kratas Manen Bahuda Shrutam Bahu Vyaharta Anen Na Kinchit Pa Shabditam, means surely he seems to have studied well the whole of grammar, and there is not a single mispronunciation in his entire speech. So reading the content, the complete content, followed by the good pronunciation, and the person should know where to take the pause, how to start, and all these things. So the completeness, and I remember, and I feel you all can now compare the completeness, consideration, all these things were mentioned by Cutlip in 7 C's. After this, he also mentioned the correctness. Then correctness of saying anything, correctness of the words, the chosen words which you are choosing. So he says, Ram says to Lakshman, na mukhe netryo ravapi lalate cha dhruvo sthatha anneveshpi cha gadreshu dosh sasam vidita kvachit. He says, I cannot find, like if I am talking to you and I'm looking there, so it is not at all good for a good communication. If I'm talking to you in the camera, then I should look in the camera. I should not look here and there. Fine. The facial expressions, the eye contact, the gesture. If I say, please sit down, please sit down. So you can see my gestures also. But if I say, please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. So my gestures are saying something, my words are saying something. So Ram observes that Hanuman, whatever he was saying, there was no fault in his facial expression, in his eye contact, in his expressions of forehead, between the eyebrows or any other part of the body during his entire expression. So he talks about the paralinguistic features of Hanumana while discussion.
One question, sir, please.
Yeah,
one question, sir. One question, sir.
Yeah.
What kind of rasa did Ram use when he speak to this Lakshman? You know, there are 9 rasas, such as Shringar, dance, Shanta, dance, Bashala, Bhayanak, Bhubatta. Then what kind of rasa did use by Ram when speaking to Lakshman? Thank you, sir.
The rasa, you are asking the rasa?
Yes, sir. The rasas, no. There are 9 rasas, you know, according to Artha Shastra, you know, sir.
Shrangar ras, Veer ras, and all these things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what kind of rasa did Ram use while talking to Lakshman, his brother, you know, sir? My question to you, sir.
Okay, okay. I will give this answer at the end of the session. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Let me complete this. The 7 C's in the communication. Then I'll talk about the rasa also. Then now the next part is clearness, unambiguous language, and there must be clarity in your thoughts and your sentences also. So Ram again mentions this particular thing. And he says to Lakshman that avistar ma sandhigdam ma vilambitam mudritam urstha kanthag vakyam vartate madhyame sware. He says that his sentences are not too elaborative, not ambiguous, not dragging, not fast, and raised in the chest or throat, like the correct way of pronunciation, and he is using the perfect tone, medium of tone when he's communicating. So he finds clarity in his communication, whatever Hanuman has said to Ram, and then Ram as an observant, as a master communicator, he is making Lakshman understand that, see, why you should be considerate, because he has these many qualities. Then he also mentioned the conciseness, the another C. He said that sanskar kram sampanna mrudatam vilambitam ucharyati kalyanim vacham hridaya Harinam. So he says that Sanskar kram sampanna mritam ma vilam vilambitam, means his words are propitious, they are refined, and neither they are fast nor slow. His utterances, his pauses captivate the heart. And just imagine, Ram was in the fineness of searching Sita. He was not in a good mood. But after listening to Hanuman, he became so enthusiastic. He became so, his mood was so a little, it was just away from that fineness of searching Sita ji. So, and that's why he could observe all these things. And at the end, he also talked about the concreteness and the courtesy. Again, 6 and 7 C's. So he says, Ram says, Anaya Chitraya Vacha, Tristhan Vyanjanisthya, Kasse Naradhyate, Chitti Mudhyata, Ser Reir Pi. Means the words which are coming. So he says, like his colorful words flow from all three sources: the bottom of his bosom, his throat, and his head. Means whatever you are saying from your heart. Whatever you are saying from the correct in the correct pronunciation. And whatever you are saying, you are using your entire head. You are contextualizing it, you are synthesizing it, synchronizing it, and then you are encoding and sending to the receiver for their decoding. And he also mentioned that, because as I mentioned, that when he was in a trouble, he was searching Sitama, then he mentioned to Lakshman that Kasya naradhyate chit mudhyata serir rapi, means whose mind will not adore them, even if one happens to be an enemy holding a sword. He describes this, and he mentioned that if a person like Hanuman speaks in front of any person, and a person is an enemy also, then he will definitely love to listen at that particular time. So, reading shlokas from Valmiki Ramayana and mentioning 7 C's, the foundation of any communication in Ramayana, is very much there. And if I am not wrong, so Valmiki Ramayana came into existence from the 5th century BC to in between 1st century BC. And Cutlip, who wrote his book in 1952, he mentioned all these things in 1952, but all these things were mentioned in between somewhere 5th to 1st century BCE. So